everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Crypto City. Tonight, we are having our training episode with 2ndLifeRich. He's going to be talking to us about some AI. And before that, though, I would like to tell you guys, I want to share a story with you. Usually, I do a little bit of news tidbits at the beginning, or I share some interesting stuff that's going on right now. But I actually want to share what happened to me last night because I think it's interesting, and I think that it just reminds us that we always need to have contingencies in place for things that could go awry. So last night, I was sitting on my couch. I was scrolling through Instagram. I was looking at my emails and everything. And I saw an email that many of us have seen probably before where it says, your account has been shut down for suspicious behavior. And that happens a lot of times. And a lot of times it's scammers trying to get your information. So most of the time when I see those, I just delete them and keep going. But this one was YouTube. And I was like, that's weird because I've never had one from YouTube. I've had them from Meta, and I've had them from like all these random email addresses that aren't actually real. But this one was from YouTube directly. And I was like, 11:45 at night. It's probably still spam, but you know what? I'm just going to check just to make sure. So I went on and I accessed my YouTube account, and lo and behold, it was gone. It had a big thing that popped up that said, you have been terminated and restricted from YouTube. And I was like, what is going on here? This is insane. How could that possibly happen? So I went back to the email and I read it, and it said that I was in violation of their scam and deceptive acts policy. That is so not true. There is no way. First of all, 90% of what is on my YouTube is this show. Everything on this show is, creator content. And it is all stuff that is just knowledge and stuff from the community. So there's nothing, I'm not trying to get you to buy anything. I'm not trying to do anything, nothing deceptive. That's all accurate. The other part that I have on there is my nonprofit. There's like 3 or 4 concert videos that people performed. Again, nothing deceptive there. And then there was my newest project, that hip hop joint, which is also all creator content. And, anytime, I'm always super careful whenever we upload anything with music in it. If it comes up saying there's copyright issues, I double check to make sure what they are. And every single time it is said, maybe you can't see your video in Russia. You can't see your video in Saskatchewan. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And it also will always say, this is not an issue unless you try to monetize. And I'm not monetizing, so no issue. Again, this makes no sense at all. And I never had gotten any sort of warning or violation from YouTube prior to this happening. So now my heart's beating. I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my God, it's midnight. There's an appeal process. I'm filling out the forms. I'm sending in the appeals, and I'm panicking because I'm like, you know what? This is a lot of hard work to put the shows together. There's a lot of effort that goes into it from the guests that come on. Many of you have been guests on the show. You know what it's like to, come up on stage and have to tell your story. And then we record it and we put it out there on YouTube so people can come back and use it as a resource. So to have all of that blown away, and I was just like, I was so saddened by it, frustrated, angry. And also, why did this happen? How could something so careless happen? And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm appealing it. I'm going through the process. I do have the entire Crypto City up on Spotify as well, even though it's only followed on YouTube, really. There's a few people who have seen it on Spotify, but at least I have backups. I also have backups of all the videos, stored. But I was like, thank God I do have backups of everything, because otherwise this could all be just completely gone. Just gone, just like that. Discord, all the links to YouTube, blown away. And I was heartbroken by it, and I was so frustrated. And it just reminded me once again that like everything we do, it's technology. And in a millisecond, it can be gone. And everything you've put all your hard work into, if you don't have redundancy and backups and extra layers in there, your hard work could be gone in a second. And I know we've all done things where you've created documents and you forgot to hit save and you're like, oh, I got to create it again. But this is literally 107 episodes of this show, 30 episodes of Hip Hop Joint, like 4 very heartfelt concerts for my nonprofit. So it's like there was a lot of sadness in me for the fact that this just disappeared that easily. So I went through the appeal process, and about an hour and a half later, they reversed it. And they said, we have looked at your page and it is not in violation of any of our codes. And of course I was like, oh, thank you. Yay. And then I was like, but what? Like, you that easily threw away my channel and all of the stuff that went along with it? Because in the email I received, it very clearly said that if it stayed terminated, that I would never be able to open up another YouTube channel under that email address. Okay, that's a pain, but you can work around that. But also all of the comments, all of the subscribers, everything that goes along with that was gone. If they determined, poof, gone. And how can you be so careless and reckless to wipe me out like that when there was absolutely no infractions? Which is just something for all of you. Anyone in here who's doing YouTube, just make sure you have backups. Now, for anyone who's doing YouTube and doesn't know about this, when you go into the creator suite in there to upload all your videos and put in all the text that goes along with it, if you go back into creator suite after the fact, you can just click on the 3 dots under the video and re-download it to yourself. So you can pull everything that you've put up there back down to yourself. So if you don't have backups and you've just uploaded and then deleted the stuff off your computer to make space, go back, download your stuff, stick it on an external drive in a drawer somewhere, but make sure you have a backup for everything that you do. So that's my story. I just wanted to share it with you guys because it's just, real life experience that was not pleasant. And I'm very grateful I was able to restore everything and get it back. Just for anyone who goes to look right now, although all the videos are there, the playlists are messed up. The videos are still assigned to the playlist, but the playlists are not showing yet. They said give it about 24 to 48 hours. It may just need to repopulate. I did wipe out all the cache to try and resync it. It didn't work, but it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. So I have to kind of wait through the process. But all your videos are there. And if you go on Discord, you just need to click on the Discord video and it will take you straight to where you're going. So everything exists for now. And if there's anybody who needs a copy of the video that they did for anything, just let me know and I'll make sure that you get a copy of it. But wow, like what a wake up call and little mini heart attack in the middle of the night, worrying about how that was going to play out. So that's all. So now we are going to get along with our training and I would love you to help me welcome to the stage, Second Life Rich. Rich, please come join us.
Greetings, everyone.
Welcome.
Greetings, CityGirl. Greetings. Thank you. That's horrible.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm sorry to hear that about your YouTube channel. I've been through that and I'm actually going through that. Well, I've been through it, but Hurricane Dave got my channel back. And if it wasn't for him, he actually had a plug in Google that he got me connected with someone and they got it reversed. And then right now I'm dealing with it with my Facebook. But I know why they took my Facebook is because I had a channel with we lived in Washington. Marijuana's legal. I had a bunch of clients that I built apps and websites for, and I would make Facebook fan page, business pages for them. These pages been up there for like 8-10 years and no issues. Then all of a sudden one day, it was when I applied for the creator program. I got approved for the creator program and my Facebook got suspended on the same, first the email for the MHCP came in and a minute later it was the termination of my Facebook. So they checked my Facebook and everything while they was approving it, I assume. And they said that the reason was for illegal substances. But in Washington, where that business was, it was legal. That page had been on there for like 8 years. I had forgot about it, everything, man. But
and they took your entire Facebook down? Yeah.
And that had been my Facebook since Facebook came out. So we're talking like photos that go way back and, of my family, of my, just so much history is on there and just like that gone.
The digital age, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Same time. Yes, it is. Definitely.
That's crazy. Well, we want to welcome you back because you've been on here before with us. You've done a bunch of trainings. You actually took part in both of our special off-season events that we did and did some training there as well. And, you always have a lot to impart with us. And before you start your training, though, I just want you to remind the audience about Hume AI and, and Lux VR and the other programs that you have done in here to help the community and to help everybody grow.
Sure. So, first of all, I'm Second Life Rich. Greetings, everyone. And I have been creating educational content for quite some time. I entered into the metaverse by creating tutorials about different things and helping people with stuff under the brand Humai. So Humai is the education side of my business, but it's also Humai LLC is the core business name as well. But Lux VR is the side of things where, instead of you doing it yourself, we do it for you, basically. So we just try to help you shine. And so everything from the custom avatars or even, worlds and assets. We just try to help our clients fulfill their needs in the metaverse.
I love it. And you've done such wonders. I mean, there have been, I know on your Instagram page, you were doing a lot of, like putting resources out there for everyone, bringing people together. You were doing some workshops in Horizon. You've been doing a lot of things to grow the education of the people in the metaverse. And you are like a little walking encyclopedia of information, but it's really cool because, you make it available to everybody who's interested in learning. And that has been such a blessing.
Yeah, it's always been my thing to create tutorials. I mean, going even back as long as YouTube has been online, I've always created tutorials about different technologies, different programming languages. And so when I got involved with the metaverse, it was no different. As I learn, I share because I learned from somewhere as well. So pay it forward.
And we appreciate that. It's a wonderful thing that you do for everyone. And also for any of you who don't know this, in addition to the avatar creation that you do and the jewelry creation, so Second Life Rich's wife, Brown Diamond, who's also in the audience, has a clothing line. So they're working together, and it's amazing to see power couples in the metaverse doing great things. So welcome to Brown Diamond, and anybody who's in here who might be looking for an avatar. Rich makes avatars that look just like you, if that's what you want. He can take a photo of you and turn it into an avatar that looks just like your actual person in real life. And then Brown Diamond can make beautiful clothing for it. So they make work together.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the video that you're going to share with us tonight and what the program is.
Sure. So when you invited me to do a training, I thought to myself, what should I do a training on? And then I couldn't think of anything to cover better than agents because first of all, for me in my day-to-day workflows and in, many aspects of my life these days, agents are becoming increasingly more valuable, more helpful, and more essential in my workflows. So one of the tools that is an agent. Well, first of all, by agent, what I mean is when software goes off and do things for you. So normally you're using ChatGTP or, whatever your chat bot is. So those chat bots, they're helpful, but they don't go off and use any tools and do things for you. So that's where agents come in. Agents are when the chat bot now can use different tools. And in this case, with the Comet AI, it's like your whole browser. So it can, like everything that you can do in your browser, it can do in your browser. And so as part of my workflows, like I have a bunch of screens and multiple computers and stuff. And so I'll actually have like my agents on different screens working on things while I'm on different screens working on things. And we're almost like a team in here getting work done. Yeah.
Virtual assistant.
Virtual assistant, like you're right, but like on with a whole new meaning these days with these agents because they can do so much. And there's also so many different types of agents. You've even got one in your chat GTP now. So you've got agent mode in there now where it can use its own computer to do some things. And I was going to cover that one, but I figured that with this browser, it might be a little bit more interesting because of some of its capabilities.
All right, great. So we are going to play a video with a little bit of instruction for you on using Comet. And anybody in the audience who may have your world volume turned down because from other places that you've been, you may need to turn your world volume up just a little bit to hear the video because we are streaming it. And if you have questions, you can either hold them to the end, or if you think that it's something that really needs to be addressed right at that moment, please raise your hand and we'll pause the video and call you up.
Okay. Nice.
Blue,
sounds
please
good.
Play the video.
Greetings. I'm Second Life Rich from Huma LLC, and I'm here to introduce you to the Comet AI browser, if you haven't already heard of it. Now, I need to let you know that I am not being sponsored or endorsed by Perplexity in any way. This is 100% my personal opinion and how I use the Comet AI browser to help me be more effective in my workflows. And so let's go ahead and get into it. So right here in front of the screen, I've got the Comet AI browser homepage. If you scroll this page, you can kind of get the gist of what Comet is and how it works. They show some screen shots of using Comet to do things on a page. Right here, it's summarizing. And so I recommend spending a little bit of time scrolling through here to learn a little bit more about it if you're interested in Comet. But for this video, we're gonna dig right in, and I'm going to show you first some things that Perplexity provides to kind of get you started, kind of show you around also, and then after that, I'll kind of show you some ways that I use Comet in my workflows. And finally, I want to let you know some of the things that I find challenging, some of the tasks that I find challenging to assign to Comet. So right now, what you're looking at is a fresh new browser tab. In this case, we are looking at the equivalent of like a Google Chrome browser tab without any web pages loaded or anything. We've got the widgets right here. Down here, we've got the account settings and all of the preferences and everything. Over here, direct access to Perplexity. So if I just hover over like that, it'll just kind of open up Perplexity and just give me all of the normal features that you would get by logging into your Perplexity account. But it's this assistant right here that makes all the difference when comparing it to Google Chrome. So this assistant is actually able to take over your browser and perform tasks for you. Pretty much anything that you can do in a browser, Perplexity, the AI Comet can do in a browser. And so let's go ahead and demonstrate that right now with one of their Try Assistant in Action demos. So I'll go ahead and click this one. Take control over my browser and win Wordle for me. So it's going to go ahead and do that. Let's try it. Let's see. And by the way, this is my mouse over here. So you can see that we've got the hue around the browser, and right now it's playing a game of Wordle by itself. And the beautiful thing about this is that you can let this run and go and do something else. Like I've got other screens and other computers around here. And what I like to do is I like to give Comet a task. And while it's running and doing that, I'll be doing other things, which allows me to literally clone myself. And you can look at the chain of thought reasoning right here. You can see it, what it's thinking. We can see the sources over here. I was thinking it was going to try that tumor, but I'm thinking, don't you notice that the R is green in that spot? But then it didn't completely put in tumor. Um, it erased that, and now let's see what it's going to put in. I think it realized that, yeah, see, it's going to try something that has an R right there. It realized that the R was green. So, when that's an example of, while it's reasoning through each step, it's paying attention and it will correct itself. And so, yeah, I think that this is a really good demonstration of how it goes through whatever you're dealing with on the page, thinks through it, corrects itself, keeps trying until it figures it out. And that's actually been my experience. One thing that I've had to train myself on is not trying to help and intervene. So because we have this pause Comet assistant button right there, we can intervene anytime we want. We can hit this stop button over here and send it a message anytime we want and complain about what it's doing. But what my experience has been is, if I just remain patient, more often than not, it will figure it out. Bam! It did it. It solved it. Isn't that cool? All right. So that's a demonstration of it using its intelligence in order to solve things on the screen. Let me show you something else. So in this case, I pulled up a really, really, really outdated WordPress site that I have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Comet to go through and clear out all of those comments, clear out all the spam comments, update the plugins and theme. So just give it that command. It's going to take over the browser and go at it. So there's the comments. We can see all of that spam. It doesn't realize that I meant all comments are spam. It's going to look for, well, yeah, it's moving them to the trash. Okay, it recognizes. Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. I was just about to try to correct it. You see what I mean? So it recognized that those were spam, and it's clearing them out. You can see those are spam. It's moving them all to the trash. And so just imagine, you give it this and you go off and you do the other thing that you needed to do, It can create content. It can, it can completely manage your website. I mean, any and everything that you need to do in your website, and regardless of the platform. I'm a huge fan of WordPress, so we're in a WordPress environment. But this could just as easily be Shopify. It could be Wix, Weebly, whatever it is that you like to use. So now you can see that all of the comments are gone. They're all now in the trash, and Comet's going to go ahead and update the plugins. And so we see that it has selected the plugins. Update. There's that one. And it's updating that one. So now the plugins are updated. All right, so that's everything. Well, no. It's mistaking the actual update notifications as an error. So now it's updating Divi. So I'll just give it that indication because I can tell that each time it sees the success message, it's taking it as a failure. So let's see. Okay, so we've got another success. Let's see if it notices that. Yeah, and see, then it moved on. So now it knows, and that's all you have to do. Like you go through and you align it. You have to communicate with it what the misunderstanding is, and then it'll go through and it'll keep working. It won't have that issue again. Now it may have that issue on a different session. I've noticed that. But if you've got a lot of something to do or something like that. Now, one thing that I recommend doing is taking note of some of the things you have to tell it. Like, for example, maybe in the future, if you notice that when it makes it gets a success notification, it takes it as a failure. Maybe next time you have it run that kind of task, you let it know. Success messages are green with a check mark. Failure messages, are red or says error or something like that. So you can give it that information as part of your prompt when you submit it. And so I've got some very not long prompts, but detailed prompts that I'll give it to use to run. So you can see here that it has now updated all of the themes. It didn't run into that issue of stopping with each one again. Now let's see what it decides to do. So now it's going back to these comments. Okay, so there we go. You see most of the task was done. It moved them into the trash and then checked the spam and didn't see them in there. I can empty the trash right here. We've got this one. So, I'll go ahead and stop here. I'll go ahead and stop here with this. As you can see, it basically just does stuff for you. And it's not 100% perfect, but it's really good and it's really helpful for me. And yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know. Thanks.
So I actually have a question for you. So I was, while you were gone, I was saying how I use ChatGPT for like everything that I do. I have my agents set up like the way that I want them to do things for me. And I actually, for that hip hop joint, I created a persona for mine. Her name is Verse, and we go back and forth. And I actually have conversations with her and stuff. But I've trained her so well. Like I've taught her everything, how I want things responded to, when I want something to veer off. If there's something that I want carried through every single time that I do these type of posts, make sure this is in here. And when she makes a mistake, I call her out on it every time. And she's like, okay, you're right. I'm sorry. And then she redoes it and fixes it. Now, every time I go in, all that information, she already knows it because I'm using her and she's got her memory that I have built into her to make sure she does everything right every single time. Now, with that agent that you were just using for Comet, all right, you had to go in and clean up the spam comments. Could you set it up so that every time you launch that browser and you say reconnect to my browser, run that program? Could you make it so it's an automated task every time?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can create tasks, and then not only can you do that, but you can trigger them to run at particular times. But yeah, perfect. you can save tasks. You can save your commands and then run them again. Yeah. And in fact, that's what I do. I've got like somewhat of a library of all my little different parts of prompts, my little different parts of prompts, and I'll reconstruct different things. But I've got some of them that are saved in Comet that I can just hit the button and rerun. But yeah, like right now, I mostly use Comet for things that are random. So I'll just be working and I'll just need something done. Like maybe I need something tested. Maybe I need something filled out. Maybe I need some research done. And so most of my prompts right now are in snippets because I know that if I wanted to go and, do certain things in WordPress, I know like what caveats come up, and then I'll have those as part of my prompts that I put in for my snippet. So that's kind of like been my strategy for it. But you can save in prompts. I mean, save in tasks and prompts. Yeah. And you can run them based on time and things like that.
So, Rich has very generously offered to have us raffle off a couple of access points to get in and try out this program for people in the audience. So Blue right now is entering everyone's name into a little raffle wheel, and we'll bring it up, and we'll try to pick 2 people from the audience who will get a chance to check this out and try it out. And Rich, tell them a little bit about like how this will work.
Sure. Okay. So basically, for anyone that has not heard of Comet AI, it is only available to Perplexity Max level subscribers. And so that's the $200 a month plan. And so using this pass I've generated 2 passes that'll give a person 30 days for free. So you get to try for 30 days for free. And there is no like free trial that you can just go and sign up for when it comes to this. So you can only get it from someone else that's already a member that generates the passes. And we only get a certain number of them. And so, so it's I wanted to share them, 2 of them with someone, with people from here, so that you can try it out and see if it's something that you think will benefit you. I would, if I were you, I wouldn't think about the $200 a month as an expense. Because if you were to hire a contractor that was to do like personal assistance or data entry for you, do research for you, you would spend a lot more than that per month. And so what 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 a person should try to do is extract the value from that. So
it's an investment versus an expense.
Right, exactly. So once you actually have it making you more productive, saving you time, doing tasks that you're actually billing people for, at that point, the investment gets justified. But with this month trial, you're going to get to use it 100% in all of its capabilities and see if it actually adds any value to your workflows and even to I'll tell you something. It's not even only about workflows. Me and Brown Diamond, we found out almost a month ago that someone we went to school with passed away. And this person, he didn't have much friends or family. And so when he passed away, no one put anything in the newspaper or anything. And we only found out because someone we know came to Vegas on vacation and we hooked up with him. He was like, oh, yeah, by the way, did you know such and such passed away? And we was like, whoa, we didn't know that. So we tried to hop online and find information about it. Couldn't find anything. We asked ChatGPT, couldn't find anything. So then I was like, I'm going to try the agent. I told Comet AI, use my browser and see if you can find something. And we gave him the guy's name. And it searched and searched and searched. And we watched it search. Brown Diamond and our daughter, we watched it search. It was so interesting because its approach was so different than ours, right? Even though it's using the same web, but the ideas that it come up with in order to search against was some that was different from ours. And it actually found the record. And it's like one line on a newspaper from months and months and months and months ago, and it's one line with just his name. That's the only indication of him of his death that's online. But anyway, we would have never found that.
Right,
but the agent found it. Like it just because it's going to sit there and it's going to keep trying, and it's going to think in ways
do it so much faster too. So
right, yeah. So it's things that are I've used it for her to find deals for things like here locally. We'll give it to it and it'll just pull up everything locally, compare it, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, having an agent is just it saves so much time. And it adds a tremendous value if you use it in such a way that it's able to do that. All right, we've got the wheel up.
All right, Blue. Good luck, everyone.
And if someone wins that actually didn't want it, maybe you'll give it to somebody that did want it or something. Okay.
Ryan Fitness.
Congratulations, Ryan.
All right. We'll do one more.
Ryan, are you familiar with Comet AI? Oh, and he's already won something?
Wow. All right, then.
You need to find your nearest casino.
Right?
All right. Who we got next?
Relmarks. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
I would say, one thing to keep in mind, too, for for either Relmax or Ryan Fitness, if just because you won this, and you might not have a business that you're running, so there might not be something that seems like it would be relevant. You can use this for anything. It doesn't have to be for a business. It's very helpful, and it's a cost savings and efficiencies for a business. But you can use this for your own personal stuff as well. So maybe you've got a project that you've been dying to do, and maybe you want to find ways to make this project speed along. And for example, let's say you have renovations you want to do at home. You can put it in there to get ideas. You can put it in there to get budgets. You can put it, use it to do all of the legwork that you would do hiring a contractor to do the GC part of it, not the physical labor, but all of the management behind it. You could use it if you, maybe you have a sports team, Ryan Fitness. I mean, for all I know, you might run a gym. Maybe it's something that you could be using for that. Or you could put together a fitness program that would help you if you're trying to lose weight and get in shape. Whatever it is, there's anything you can do with this. So it doesn't have to be business, at the cost, like we were talking about, it's a good investment if you are running a business. But if you've got a month free, capitalize on it, take advantage of it, use it to the most of your abilities.
Definitely. It can point, click, type in any web page the same way you can. So it's essentially you, but you just give it instructions and it'll do what you do on that page, and it'll open up additional pages. And then, like I said, it can do its own thing as well. Another thing is that through Perplexity is a little different than any of the frontier models. Like if you're using specifically ChatGTP or if you're using Grok or something like that. With Perplexity, it has like all of them. Like you've got access to multiple different agents, and so you can select which agent multiple different AI platforms, so you can select which one that you prefer. So it's got a lot of features that I think you'll find helpful regardless if it's business or personal. We've all got personal duties. It'll help you shop. It can help you pay bills. If you're getting overcharged in something, sign in and tell it to go look and find out why.
If it could only chauffeur me to work, I'd be happy. That's what I need. That would be wonderful. If it could take away my commute, I'd be happy.
Well, that's coming in. Yeah, that's coming to your Tesla soon. And we just took a Zeus here in Las Vegas. They launched the Zeus, and they don't even have a steering wheel. They're just 100% from the ground up built to self-drive. Yeah.
Crazy. So here we have your contact information up on the screen. So for Relmox and Ryan, you want to make sure that you reach out to Second Life Rich so you can get the information from him. And everyone, make sure you're following along all three of his accounts, because Hume AI is more techie. Lux VR is really cool. It's all the jewelry, but it's also Iced Out Thursdays, which is more entertaining. So follow all of them. Rich is very well-rounded and lots of interesting things to share with everyone. And next week, we actually have someone from Horizon coming over. So we have Dead Unicorns is coming over. She's a content creator over in Horizons. She does a lot of different things, not just world building. And it's going to be interesting to hear from her and to, see a little bit of what she's doing over there. And find out if there's any cross-platform stuff coming through, because I know she does do some social media work as well.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, thank you for coming out, everyone, and reach out to me with any questions. If you're interested in knowing anything about Comet AI or Perplexity or, any of that stuff, just reach out. I'm happy to respond and answer any questions. Railmarks, Ryan Fitness, hit me up. I guess we can talk about it after here, I guess.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Whatever works. Okay. And thank you all for coming out on your Monday night. Always appreciate you coming through. And we will hopefully see you all again next week. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.